My child, hear me now with full attention, because the words you are about to receive carry weight, urgency, and divine revelation. And the Spirit of the Lord says your son is under spiritual attack, not tomorrow, not later tonight, but right now, in this very moment. And heaven presses this message into your spirit because you must act immediately, for darkness has stretched its hand toward him, hoping to pull him into confusion, distraction, delay, and destruction. But the Lord says, I will not allow the enemy to take what belongs to me, and this is why I am alerting you before the attack completes its assignment, because your prayer is the shield, your voice is the barrier, your obedience is the weapon that will block what the enemy planned in secret. And God says, listen closely, because I am about to uncover what has been hiding in the shadows around your son. And the Lord says your son has been feeling sudden waves of heaviness, irritation without reason, emotional swings he cannot explain, moments where he feels lost or overwhelmed, thoughts that did not come from me but were whispered by the enemy. And though he appears normal outwardly, inwardly a battle is taking place, a spiritual pressure squeezing his mind, distracting him, pulling him toward decisions that would harm him, delay him, mislead him, or disconnect him from the destiny heaven designed. And the Spirit of the Lord says this is not ordinary warfare. This is targeted, calculated, intentional, because your son stands at the doorway of a breakthrough, at the edge of a shift, at the threshold of a destiny moment. And the enemy always attacks hardest right before elevation, right before clarity, right before transformation. And God says the reason the enemy is attacking your son tonight is because he sees what your son cannot yet see. He sees the blessing coming. He sees the breakthrough forming. He sees the restoration arriving. He sees the divine alignment taking shape, and he wants to sabotage it before it becomes visible. But the Lord says he will fail because you are rising in prayer, and you are hearing my warning, and you are stepping into spiritual warfare for your son at the very moment he needs it most. And the Spirit of God says, listen, because I am revealing the roots of this attack. For there has been a door your son unknowingly cracked open, not through rebellion, not through sin, but through vulnerability, exhaustion, emotional weight, or disappointment. And the enemy waited for that opening and struck quickly, hoping to plant confusion in his mind, hoping to shift his emotions, hoping to distort his sense of direction. But God says I am exposing the enemy tonight so the door can be shut, sealed, and covered in the blood. And the Lord says there are people around your son whose intentions are not as pure as they appear, voices that seem friendly but carry manipulation, advice that sounds gentle but leads him away from his path, invitations that look harmless but are spiritually dangerous. And God says be watchful, for the enemy often attacks through influence, through sudden connections, through unexpected conversations that shift the mind. And I am revealing this so you can pray with precision, authority, and fire. And the Spirit of the Lord says your son is not lost. He is not defeated. He is not in danger that cannot be reversed. But he is in a moment that demands your immediate spiritual intervention, and your prayer will push back the darkness that is trying to close around him. And the Lord says tonight I am calling you into a place of intercession, a place of authority, a place of spiritual boldness, because what you speak tonight will shift the atmosphere around your son. And the Lord says, open your mouth and declare over him that no weapon formed against him will prosper. Declare that every demonic voice assigned to mislead him will be silenced. Declare that every spirit of confusion, heaviness, distraction, or temptation breaks now. Declare that his mind is covered, his path is protected, his future is sealed by my hand. And God says, when you pray tonight, something will break, something will lift, something will shift, something will disconnect from him, and heaven will step into the battle on your behalf. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. And the Spirit of God says your son has been wrestling with thoughts he did not share, emotions he did not verbalize, burdens he tried to carry alone. But I saw it. I felt it. And I am responding through you, my chosen vessel, my assigned intercessor, the one whose voice carries spiritual authority over him. And the Lord says, I have given you spiritual sight. I have awakened your discernment, and you are sensing things you cannot explain because your spirit is picking up the warfare around your son before your eyes see it. And this is why your heart has been restless. This is why you have felt pressure. This is why something inside you has been stirring, because heaven was pulling you into position for this moment. And God says, do not fear, for fear is not from me, and nothing the enemy is doing is beyond my power. Nothing is beyond my reach. Nothing is beyond my reversal. But I need your voice activated, your spirit awakened, your prayer engaged, because your intercession builds the wall the enemy cannot cross. And the Spirit of the Lord says, I am going to reveal more signs to you, subtle signals that will confirm everything you are hearing now. For your son may show sudden silence, sudden withdrawal, unusual fatigue, or unexpected frustration. But do not panic. Instead, recognize it as spiritual evidence that the enemy attempted to influence him but failed to take hold because you stepped in. And the Lord says your son is not spiritually weak. He is simply spiritually targeted because of the calling on his life, the destiny on his name, the greatness inside him. And the enemy attacks what he fears, and he fears what he cannot stop, and he cannot stop the plans I have for your son. And God says tonight, I will release angels to surround him, angels to protect him, angels to block every hidden assignment, angels to shut the mouths of wrong voices, angels to cancel wrong decisions, angels to guard his sleep, his mind, his steps, and his emotions. And the Spirit of the Lord says, I am healing something inside him even now, a wound he did not speak of, a disappointment he carried alone, a frustration he pushed inward. And because of this wound the enemy saw a weakness and tried to take advantage of it. But my hand is upon him, and my mercy is covering him, and no demonic plan can override my divine intention. And the Lord says tonight you will pray this prayer of protection, not out of fear, but out of authority. And heaven will respond instantly. And the Lord says, speak these words aloud, for they carry weight in the spirit realm. Father in heaven, cover my son now. Break every attack. Remove every dark influence. silence every wrong voice. Close every door the enemy used. And surround him with angels of protection, clarity, and strength. And the Spirit of God says as you pray this, a shift will take place around him. A pressure will lift. A heaviness will break. And clarity will begin to return to his mind. And God says tomorrow you will notice a change, subtle but significant, because what the enemy planned to complete tonight will be stopped, reversed, and dismantled by your obedience and my power. And the Lord says your son will rise stronger, clearer, more stable, more focused. Because this attack did not come to destroy him, it came because of where he is going. And I allowed you to see it so you could stop it, and you have, and you will. For I am with you. I am with him. And the enemy will not win. And God says act now, pray now, declare now, for heaven is waiting for your voice to release the final barrier of protection around your son. And as you obey, watch how quickly the storm breaks. Watch how quickly peace returns. Watch how quickly clarity comes back into his eyes. For I, the Lord your God, have spoken it, and nothing will overturn my word. And the Spirit of the Lord says now, as these words settle deeper into your spirit, understand that this next portion is not just revelation, it is intervention. It is me stepping between your son and the plans that were forming against him. And God says the enemy thought he had enough momentum to destabilize your son, to pull him into a mental fog, to push him toward a wrong decision, but he did not expect you to awaken in the spirit with such force. He did not expect you to receive this warning at the exact moment it was needed. He did not expect your discernment to rise like a sword. And now the atmosphere around your son is shifting because of what you have spoken already and what you are about to speak next. And the Lord says, listen, for I am about to reveal the deeper layers of this attack so you can pray with precision and authority. And the Lord says your son has been carrying a silent burden, a weight he did not share with you or anyone, a fear he has tried to hide, a pressure he pretended not to feel. And this hidden burden created cracks in his spiritual armor, cracks the enemy tried to exploit, cracks the enemy tried to widen, cracks the enemy hoped would weaken him enough to influence his thoughts. But God says I am sealing those cracks now. I am filling the gaps. I am covering every exposed place with my strength and my power. And the Spirit of the Lord says the enemy sent confusion to cloud his judgment, but I am sending clarity like fire, clarity that pierces through darkness, clarity that restores direction, clarity that anchors his spirit so he can stand again without fear, hesitation, or spiritual instability. And the Lord says your son has been hearing voices of discouragement in his mind, thoughts that whispered, you're not enough, you're alone, you're overwhelmed, you're failing, but these thoughts were not his own. They were spiritual projections, demonic suggestions meant to wear him down, to drain him, to make him believe he is vulnerable. But the Lord says no more, for I am breaking those voices now, tearing them down, silencing them completely. And in their place, I am filling his mind with peace, with boldness, with a renewed sense of purpose. And the Lord says I am putting a barrier around his mind tonight, a divine shield that the enemy cannot penetrate, a covering that deflects every lie, every attack, every manipulation. And the Spirit of the Lord says your son is about to enter a critical period of alignment, where every step he takes will matter. Every decision will lead him either into destiny or unnecessary delay. And this is why the attack intensified. This is why pressure came suddenly. This is why his emotions became shaky. Because the enemy saw the window of transition and tried to intercept him. But God says you have stood in the gap at the perfect moment, and because of your obedience, because of your sensitivity to my Spirit, because you responded without hesitation, his path is being straightened, his steps are being secured, and his destiny is being protected. And the Lord says there are people the enemy tried to plant around your son, people who appeared harmless, friendly, supportive, but carried spiritual assignments to pull him off course. But I am exposing them now. I am revealing intentions you could not see before. I am shining light on conversations that seemed innocent but were leading him into confusion. And God says I am severing those connections before they take root. I am disconnecting him from people who would drain his spirit, distract his focus, or dilute his discernment. And the Lord says your prayer tonight will shift his relationships, his atmosphere, and his emotional responses. And the Spirit of the Lord says do not be surprised if your son begins to withdraw from certain individuals unexpectedly. Do not be surprised if he suddenly loses interest in conversations or activities that once captured his attention. For this is my doing. This is the pruning of heaven. This is me cutting away the spiritual traps the enemy sent. And the Lord says I am giving your son spiritual instincts, a sensitivity he did not have before, a sense of something isn't right, that will protect him even when he does not fully understand why. And the Lord says your son will soon feel a shift inside himself, a sudden desire for quiet, rest, clarity, and separation from anything that drains him. And this is not depression. This is spiritual reset. This is me pulling him away from the noise so he can hear my voice again, so he can regain strength, so he can rediscover his direction. And the Spirit of God says I am going to awaken something inside him that has been dormant, something powerful, something divine, something connected to the calling on his life. And the enemy sensed this awakening coming, which is why he attacked with urgency. But I have stopped it before it could form. And the Lord says listen, because a deeper revelation is coming. Your son has been carrying generational pressure that did not belong to him, battles that were assigned to your family line long before he was born, spiritual patterns that attempted to resurface. But the Lord says those patterns break tonight. Those cycles end tonight. Those generational attacks lose power tonight because you stood as the spiritual gatekeeper. And heaven honors the positioning of a praying parent, a discerning parent, a vigilant parent. And God says every chain that tried to hold him will lose its grip, every curse that tried to follow him will break, every dark pattern that tried to repeat will be cancelled. And the Spirit of the Lord says I am not just protecting your son from this attack, I am elevating him through it. I am strengthening him, sharpening him, maturing him, and preparing him for the blessing that comes after the battle. For the enemy does not attack what has no value, no purpose, no destiny. And the Lord says your son is marked, chosen, covered, and anointed for something greater than he realizes, and this attack was a sign of the greatness the enemy is afraid of. And the Lord says now prepare yourself, because you are about to see signs that my hand is already moving around him. His sleep will shift. His mood will stabilize. His thoughts will lighten. His reactions will soften. And he will begin to break free from internal pressures that weighed him down for weeks. And the Lord says when you see these signs, know that the warfare has been overturned, the assignment cancelled, the darkness scattered, and my angels have taken position around him. And God says continue to speak my word over him. Continue to cover him. Continue to declare protection and direction. For your voice has opened a portal of divine intervention over his life. And as long as you pray, heaven will act, angels will guard, and the enemy will fail over and over again. For I have placed authority in your mouth, strength in your spirit, and fire in your intercession. And the Lord says the attack stops tonight, the confusion breaks tonight, the heaviness lifts tonight. And your son will rise into a new season of clarity, peace, protection, and purpose, because you acted when I called, and because you obeyed without hesitation. And the Lord says my hand is upon your son, my presence surrounds him, and the enemy will not touch what I have covered. For I, the Lord your God, have spoken it, and it is done. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. And the Spirit of the Lord says now, lean in even deeper, because this final portion is the sealing, the completion, and the divine closing of the assignment. And the Lord says what I am about to release is not just revelation, it is finalization, it is the spiritual signature that locks every door the enemy tried to open around your son. And God says you have prayed, you have interceded, you have listened, but now I will seal it so completely that the enemy will not find access again. And the Spirit of the Lord says listen carefully, for these are the words that bring closure, protection, restoration, and elevation to your son's life. And the Lord says your son has been walking through an unseen battlefield, a place where invisible arrows were flying toward him, a place where emotional turbulence was stirred not by his own mind but by spiritual interference. But the Lord says I have stepped between him and every arrow, and I am now lifting the fog that the enemy placed around his thoughts. And you will see clarity forming in him like a sunrise, slowly at first, then suddenly bright, undeniable, and steady, because I am restoring what the enemy tried to distort. And the Spirit of the Lord says your son has been tired in a way that physical rest could not heal, because his spirit was wrestling, his mind was overloaded, and his emotions were overwhelmed. But God says tonight I release divine rest over him, supernatural stillness, a peace that floods into the places where anxiety once lived. And the Lord says I am calming every storm inside him, removing every internal battle, and breaking every spiritual vibration that caused him to feel unsettled. And the Lord says your son's spirit is now entering alignment, the heaviness is lifting, the confusion is breaking, the spiritual interference is being cleared out. And he will begin to feel lighter, more stable, more grounded, and more aware of what truly matters. And the Lord says, I am turning chaos into clarity, fear into focus, doubt into direction, and pressure into purpose. And your son will rise from this moment with a renewed strength he did not know he possessed. And the Spirit of God says the enemy launched this attack because he sensed the movement of destiny around your son, a divine acceleration, a blessing that was approaching, and a breakthrough that was already unfolding. And the enemy knew he could not stop it, but he tried to delay it, distract it, or damage it through emotional instability. But the Lord says the breakthrough is not cancelled, it is not postponed, it is not weakened. It is now being strengthened, reinforced, and pushed forward because of your intervention. And the attack that came to break him will now build him. And the Lord says, I am now releasing angels of clarity, angels of protection, angels of restoration, and angels of direction to surround your son in every step. And where the enemy tried to create confusion, I am sending focus. Where he tried to create fear, I am sending courage. Where he tried to create doubt, I am sending assurance. And the Lord says your son will begin to hear my guidance more clearly, feel my presence more strongly, and recognize my hand over his life without question. And the Spirit of the Lord says there were plans the enemy tried to arrange through wrong people, wrong atmospheres, wrong conversations. But I am now dismantling every one of those arrangements, scattering every connection the enemy attempted to form, overturning every influence he attempted to plant. And the Lord says, I am clearing the path so your son walks into the right friendships, the right environment, the right opportunities, and the right destiny connections that will build instead of drain, strengthen instead of weaken, elevate instead of distract. And the Lord says your son will begin to feel a divine pull, a gentle but undeniable shift in his desires, pulling him away from anything that is spiritually unhealthy, emotionally draining, or destiny-threatening, and pulling him toward what is purposeful, stable, and God-ordained. And God says this shift will not be forced, it will not be dramatic, but it will be steady, consistent, and unstoppable. And he will not even fully understand why his interests are changing, but his spirit will know, because I am leading him. And the Spirit of God says he will soon notice that certain things he once tolerated now feel uncomfortable, conversations he once entertained now feel empty, and environments he once entered easily now carry a spiritual resistance. And this is my protection, this is my redirection, this is my Spirit guiding him before he fully understands. And the Lord says I am teaching his spirit even before his mind catches up. And God says your son's heart is being guarded now, protected from emotional traps, broken connections, and manipulative influences that the enemy hoped would enter his life. And the Lord says I am surrounding his heart with wisdom, with caution, with discernment, and with divine sensitivity. And his emotions will no longer be tossed like waves, but will begin to stabilize under my guidance. And the Spirit of the Lord says I am now sealing your son's atmosphere, covering it with divine fire, surrounding it with angelic presence, and marking it so that no demonic force can enter again. For the enemy will look for a way back in, but he will not succeed, because the door has been closed, the opening has been sealed, the assignment has been cancelled, and the authority you activated tonight will stand as a wall he cannot cross. And the Lord says your son will experience sudden moments of clarity, sudden moments of strength, sudden moments of deep calm, sudden moments where he feels guided, protected, and safe without knowing why. And these moments will be signs that I have taken charge of his path, that heaven has moved on his behalf, and that the spiritual storm has been silenced. And God says, now I call you to speak the final declaration, not out of fear, but out of divine authority. For these words will finalize what heaven has already begun. Father, seal every door, protect every step, guard every thought, and lead my son into the fullness of your purpose. Let no darkness touch him again, let no influence distract him, let no fear shake him, and let no attack ever find him unprotected, for he is covered, sealed, guided, and destined by your hand. And the Spirit of the Lord says as you speak this, angels move, doors close, chains break, atmospheres shift, and the enemy flees. For your voice has become a weapon, your prayer a fortress, your obedience a shield. And God says your son is safe now, covered now, protected now, and moving toward a future the enemy will not stop. And the Lord says it is finished, the attack is broken, the danger is removed, the darkness is scattered, and your son's path is restored, secured, and divinely aligned. And the Lord says, rest now, for I have taken over, and what I cover no enemy can uncover, what I guard no darkness can touch, and what I seal no force can break. For I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and it is done. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it.